Black History Month has been celebrated in the United Kingdom for almost 30 years. Every October, community events are held across the country, while newspapers, broadcasters and museums all find ways to mark the event.
Well, it's a time for stories that perhaps aren't as well known to be told, and a chance for people to learn more about centuries of African and Caribbean heritage. But there's a growing debate as to whether it's necessary or simply tokenism. Janelle Aldridge has been investigating.
Through the storms, through the night.
Since 1987, Black History Month has been celebrated in the UK by the African and Caribbean communities. After almost 30 years of raising awareness, some parts of the community think it's time to stop putting Black history in the box of a month-long celebration and ensure it's thought about all year round.
There are debates every year about Black History Month, and I guess what black communities are always worried about, understandably, is the risk of tokenism. The idea that if we have a Black History Month in October, then it gives institutions the licence not to worry about Black history for the remaining 11 months of the year.
The African and Caribbean communities want to ensure their stories and contribution to British society is not forgotten. One of those stories is about the black servicemen who fought in the Second World War, and a former soldier wants to ensure it's told.
I served in the military for 7 years and I had no idea until I left. I believe that we need to look back at the true historic facts. If we want to build a country based on true historic facts, who fought and who represented, I think we should show representation to African and Caribbeans as well and let them take their honoured place.
Part of the misconception around Black history is that it's not part of British history.
The blood, sweat and tears of our ancestors.
The inaugural Arise and Honour Our Enslaved Ancestors was a celebration held at Holy Trinity Church in Birmingham by Reverend Eve Pitts.
The experience of our ancestors in our modern world have been ignored. We have to make the decision that all year round our children must be taught, yes, about slavery, but about great African empires. We can begin to talk about our history in a positive, clear, understated, passionate, loving, forgiving, and finally, confident way.
One of the aims of Black History Month was to ensure that it was taught in the curriculum in schools, an aim that was achieved last year.
Our plan for education is designed to ensure every child leaves school prepared for life in modern Britain, and our reforms to the curriculum reflect this. We are clear that pupils should learn about different cultures and about how different groups have contributed to the development of Britain as part of a broad and balanced curriculum. Individuals like Mary Seacole and Rosa Parks, plus Britain's transatlantic slave trade and the migration of people to, from and within the British Isles are all explicitly mentioned in the new curriculum, which came into force in September 2014.
This is seen as a big and important step in the right direction by those in the African and Caribbean communities, but the debate continues. Now Black history is part of the national curriculum, we've achieved that, now we can see it's more in the public consciousness. What should we be aiming for next?
I think the aim of Black History Month, in one sense, is its own abolition. In other words, the aim of Black History Month in the long term should be to get to a stage where we no longer need a particular month, but Black history is there in the work that we do in schools and universities and art galleries 12 months a year.
Well, Janelle joins us now in the studio. And Janelle, as we've just heard, the aim is that Black history should be remembered all year round, not just for that one particular month. Now, you've spoken to lots of people during your filming. How close are we to that actually happening?
Well, it's taken about 30 years for us to get it in the national curriculum, so it might take a little bit longer to kind of get it in the general public consciousness. But from all the people I spoke to, they just really want Black history to be remembered as part of British history because it's actually quite intertwined. And the piece came about just from seeing posts on social media saying just that, why a month? It's just part of history in general.
So are you quite hopeful, though, that it will change?
I think now it's in the national curriculum, that kind of embeds things in people's minds. I remember studying the Aztecs and all of that kind of history, the Vikings, the Greeks, the Romans. So once it's part of that, it does become part of your consciousness and makes it more part of just the things that you know about life in general, and then shapes the culture.
OK, well, we'll watch and hopefully see what happens in the future. Janelle, thank you. And Janelle, we'll be back with the weather in just a while as well.
Before that, though, let's turn our attention to Halloween. It's just a couple of days away.